Have you ever thought that you've seen something floating around? And I'm not talking about dust. I'm not talking about floaters that exist in your eyes naturally. I'm talking about those little lights kind of float around. We all see them on Ghost Hunters, all the other shows that are on Discovery and the Travel Channel. Do we really know what they are? Some people in the science realm think that they are actually balls of energy, whether they're transferring quantum level energy from a ghost to a person or what's left of a person. Nobody really knows. Now, it's really interesting when I started delving into orbs and lights, I didn't realize how many different interpretations of color and all that. Society, we like to give things. We like to give reasons for things. So, for example, in most European countries and Asian countries, their money has color. But in the United States, it's green. That's it. At least in other countries, you can tell literally by what color it is, what denomination it is. Here, you got to look at it because they're similar in size, kind of look the same. And for our kids these days, even the presidents seem to look the same. So I decided to delve into orbs and lights and decided to do it with the first new episode, Season 7, Episode 4, with a new format. So I hope you enjoy. Hello, and welcome to Surely a Mystery. I'm Anna, your living host, and I'm coming at you from Long Beach Island in New Jersey. Now, I cover everything and anything that has to do with spooky, historically strange, unsolved, anything that's totally New Jersey, and I've expanded to include pretty much all of New Jersey, though I absolutely love any recommendations for along the shoreline only. This week, in Season 7, Episode 4, I thought we'd cover orbs and lights. So, have you ever taken a photo and then, like on one single photo, whether it's digital or not, some random light thing appears? You think, oh, it's a dust ball, or it's some bug I didn't see. I mean, it's like those colored round orb things, or maybe even a streak of light. Now, in the old days, we could just say that it might have been a flash of the camera, the lamps around you, the street lights, or just dust-borne particles, which the light just hit just right. There are things called backscatter or near-camera reflections, too. Or how about those lovely things called insects? Yes, gnats, flies, and you name it, even the New Jersey state bird, the mosquito. However, now that we have all these fancy cameras and lenses on our phones, or even those digital cameras that some people still use, those excuses aren't really that secure. I mean, we have cameras that now can literally take a person out of our photo. So now we have a whole different problem. Fakes. Fakes are so stupid and harmful. First, they trick people into believing what they want you to believe. And that changes the narrative of any story. Second, it can even harm people or places. It makes people think something may be out to get them, or that their loved one is haunted and needs an exorcism, when they're not. It can overrun a place with paranormal enthusiasts when there's really nothing there to investigate. Why can't we just let things happen instead of forcing them to happen? My husband's always like, I hope I see a ghost. If it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. In the long run, the truth does come out. It can put shade on a person, a family, or a group who did the faking. Some news or photographs are too unbelievable to be true, but it is true. It's not fake news or fake photography. The opposite happens to people. They don't want to believe it. They think everything is staged or fake. They're hypercritical. So now we have people who are too far from the truth and unwilling to accept anything as paranormal or strange. No one wants to trust anyone anymore. It becomes this whole thing where you analyze the person who took the picture and not really the picture itself. They become almost like criminals just for taking a photo. Eventually, people get strange photographs and they just don't want to share it with anyone. Or they even destroy it to prevent the scrutiny that'll happen if they let anyone know about this really bizarre photograph. We need to find a perfect balance between the search for things that are unusual and just being skeptical of the results we get. So let's look into orbs. They could be ghosts, some say angels, spirit guides, or portals opening or closing. We are now in the realm where these orbs could really be called quanta light emissions. But from what, or who, or where? Now let's talk about spirit orbs. They actually come in a variety of shapes and colors, not just some floaty circular thing. I mean, how do you know that they might be unusual or weird when you catch it? Trust your intuitive senses. Some people call it the spidey sense. Our best determination is our own inner belief. People have in their DNA this weird ability to sense danger or recognize that there is something not normal around. It's our fight or flight part of our subconscious. These days, we don't really use it that much, and oftentimes we forget to develop the gut feeling. However, there are some jobs, like soldiers, policemen, firemen, that overdevelop it, so they're always hyper in this mode. So the rest of us kind of have to learn to redevelop it and use it more than we already do. We can also analyze the information in the photograph or image, like density. Is it bright or more dense in the photo? Is it lighter in color or fuzzy looking? Then probably it's a dust particle. But does it look like it has a mass or definition? Is there like an outer ring to it? When you enlarge it, does it have several rings within it or around it? Oh my God, what's the color? I mean, dust particles usually have one color, but orbs can be two-toned or multiple toned or a single bright color. Now, if you use a flash, the dust particles can look like an orb, but tend to be rough or like a cotton ball shaped. What about that color? I've seen different colored ones or caught them on weird random photos, like one photo in a series of photos I take. The color actually has meaning. And for centuries, colors have always had particular cultural meanings. I mean, literally, like I talked in the intro, money has colors, and in most countries, they have multiple colored. It helps to tell you the significance of the bill that's in question. But in the US, all our money is blandly the same green color. Orbs, which are lighter in color, like whites, silvers, yellowish, or even translucent, are mostly considered to be spirits. They are trying to communicate with you. Sometimes people say that they are angels who are giving you a message from a loved one or are loved ones who have now become angels. They are also considered to be a sign of protection, kind of like guardian angels. They tend to generally be related to positive in nature. Now, green ones are literally connected to nature. They could be that you need healing or are used to heal you or people in that particular space. Blue supposedly are archangels or even spirit guides. They are representing something that is super protective or also a sign that you might be on the right track for whatever you're doing in life or where you are. Now, red or orange ones are those spirits that are protective of the particular location that you are investigating or the place that you are in. It literally is like something watching over the land and it becomes attached to it or to the people of that area. So they could be spirits of loved ones or even ancestors of a current family. Now, the dark-colored orbs are harder to spot, but they could be brown or like a little black splotch. Some say it's a stuck soul or a lower vibrational soul. They have lower energy and can't move literally between worlds or realms. Think of it as they don't know the dial out code for the portal or the Stargate. They literally don't have enough power to move on to the next realm. So, however you want to think about it, that soul has a battery attached to it. It is charged by how you lived your life. If you don't do much with it, or you have regrets or unfinished deeds, you could kind of think of that battery as not fully charged. So when you die, that charge is what gets you to the next place, kind of depending on your belief system. Social media platforms like Instagram or even Facebook groups have discussion groups or postings of unexplained orbs. There are many from Hunterdon County and Brick, New Jersey. They ask for people's take on the photos or explanations to kind of debunk or challenge photos that they got of these orbs. These groups can be great, but they can also go down opposite rabbit holes. One is no way that that's a spirit orb, and then everyone jumps on the board stating, yeah, it's totally not. The other way is that someone who comments agrees that it is one. So there are ones that have 50-50 type comment, makes me think that they might actually be a spirit orb. I mean, if people genuinely question or genuinely believe, then there are equal beliefs that merit further investigation. I don't know if you've ever heard this story, but in Israeli tradition, when they got the country of Israel, they have a security committee that has 9 people on it. And the tradition is that if all 8 people say, yes, something is correct, or no, something is wrong, it's the 9th man principle. That 9th man's purpose is to debunk whatever the other 8 believe or don't believe. It comes out of the fact that there were so many Jews in Germany that didn't believe that there were concentration camps. So they don't want to fall into the same trap again. I'm a Druid, and in Druid tradition, we have that 13 number. That 13 number, that 13th person, sits out of all voting, all discussion in the High Council. They listen, they monitor, and if they have to be a tie vote, they will be. They're really just there to keep people on track and in the right mindset. So back to our understanding of all these things. I mean, during the whole New Jersey drone controversy, there were also orb photos of 2 kinds that were taken at the same time. They were obviously large and far away, which could just be an alien spacecraft, if you believe that. But there are also photos where the orb is near or close to a tree line or to the ground to safely be the size of a drone that people were capturing elsewhere. Instead of thinking that there are more drone photos, why not look at them to see if they could possibly be something else? When Newsweek reports on something, you kind of sit back and think that maybe it just might be a real orb photo. Well, first consider the photographer, a U.S. Air Force veteran, who posted a video of a bright, spherical, golden, glowed-colored object in the sky. Now, authorities say that its flight pattern was inconsistent with any conventional aircraft or drones. And yes, it was in South Jersey. It was taken with a Samsung phone, and there are multiple other videos of the same object by different people who did not know each other. To give it even more credit, it might have even pushed it into alien and not spirit, is that a squadron of U.S. Air Force planes were called out to the same area where the photographs were taken to investigate. And when did this all happen? December 2024 near Atlantic City. So it could be related to the whole drone thing, or maybe not. I've actually seen the video. No way that it's faked or some kind of camera issue. It doesn't seem to be a plane, or any plane that I know of, or anything that I've seen in the skies. It does have a weird orbish look to it. And I am suspicious that it's not a spirit orb, but maybe an alien craft of some kind, or a craft under development by the government. It is actually one that is in need of further investigation. So that kind of leads me into Wanacue, New Jersey's vortex. Yeah, in 1960s, there was a floating orb which emitted beams of white, red, and green lights. Okay, we're talking the 1960s. We're not talking a search aircraft. We're not talking something of the 80s and 90s. We're talking the 1960s. And although a boat can emit such colors, there was nobody where these were taken. It was above a reservoir with no boats in it, and then it was seen floating in erratic patterns. If you look out on the bay or the ocean, you can see boats, and they actually have predictable patterns. If one side's facing you, it might be a red light. If one side's facing you, it might be a green light. If it's coming towards you, you might see all three lights. But they need time to turn around or move. Like even jet skis are like that. So now some people think that this might be evidence of some interdimensional portal. That it was literally just a blip in the space-time continuum. There were several people who posted about it, and of course, the trolls came out. Humans always want to challenge and make fun of those with alternative beliefs. So when the trolls come out, a lot of these people return into hiding. Now, many conspiracy theorists will also talk about the government's tactics in discrediting these people's posts. They act like normal, everyday people, and then they challenge it, pretending to be some with knowledge or a skill that could debunk what was being posted. People who are involved with the incident were both police officers as well as citizens ranging in the age from 15 to 50. So different perspectives, different jobs, normal and trained, but they all had the same experience. What I want to know is, has it happened in that location since the 1960s? I mean, you don't see any follow-up. There are new articles and interviews with people who witnessed it, but then there's nothing. It's like the whole matter was just dropped like a hot potato, and that in itself is suspicious to me. That deserves more investigation. Now, Mason Cottage in Cape May is a bed and breakfast that, well, everyone says is haunted. Okay, now what? Tons of photographs by all sorts of people who stay there. Process of elimination. I doubt that many people are photographing dust particles or are standing in the same place and under the same conditions with the same settings on the camera and take the same photos. Statistically, some of those photos must be real orb photos. I don't think the B&B is that dusty or dirty or weirdly lit to produce so many orb photos. Many think that Cape May is so haunted simply because in 1878, a huge fire spread through most of the town. It did recover financially, but many think that the orbs are from those who died in the fire. But guess what? Fake news. No one died in the fire, and it actually started at the Ocean House Hotel. It then made its way around the town, and unfortunately it was started by an arsonist, but they never found out who it was. Many believe that it was set to clean up the town and allow for some rebuilding. Firefighters had come all the way from Camden just to finish knocking it down. Could the ghosts actually be of those who saw their hopes and dreams go up in flames? Or those who never financially recovered from the fire? Or even the arsonist who never got quote-unquote credit for what he or she did? Now, in Bordentown, they have this history walking tour. It is an area that was founded by the English Quakers in 1682. The tour begins when the sun is still up and then finishes long after dark. Many places along the tour have produced photos with orbs. The J. Turner Brakeley House, which is a stop on the tour, had a mirror which actually produced some unusual effects to photographs. But it was removed, and so too have all the weird photos. Could it have been something weird with the mirror itself, how it was made? Could it be how it was put together and affected photography? I'm not saying paranormal, but I'm simply, how is the mirror constructed, and how did it reflect things? Now, in the Hilltop Park, it has this floating woman, but when many guests take photos, they're like red or orbs that are white and appear in some of those. Could that simply be a woman making her presence known? Or how about the White Hill Mansion? I have been there. It is creepy, and you never feel alone. My photos have never produced any orbs, but if you have any, I'd love to see them. Brendan T. Breyer State Forest is said to have multiple softball-sized orange or red orbs. Now, it's linked to the Wharton Forest and the Bass River State Forest areas. Now, Whitesbog Village, a historic company town, it was founded in the 1870s by Joseph J. White, and it was considered to be one of the largest cranberry and blueberry farms in the state at its time. And it was active throughout the mid-20th century. It is in the Breyer State Forest, and many of the orbs are orange and red. And some people think that their souls still protecting their stake in the company town's profits. It could also be children who, like those who get no toys, become overly protective of the things around them. They believe that they own the area or want to protect what keeps them linked to this realm. For whatever the reason, these spirits might not want to pass on. Sure, maybe unfinished business, like who killed them, or that they died from an illness and they didn't realize that they actually died. But why not that they simply feared their own death? How many of us today fear death or dying? That they were scared to death, so they used their spiritual energy to push back and stay there, stay here. Not everybody wants to die or accepts their death initially. We all hear stories of people who realize that they have a terminal illness and then suddenly say, I don't want to die. At first, we see it as hope. Maybe they think they might be getting cured. But when they realize that they're just afraid of what happens after they die, then where do they go? I mean, is there still that pushback? Are they still questioning? Are they still thinking they're alive? I think that orbs are energy, absolutely. Are all orbs spirits? No, I don't really think so. Are they aliens? No, maybe. I don't know. I mean, they could be quanta signatures. So yes, it's possible that these orbs can vary and be paranormal yet scientifically proven, probably someday in the near future. Orbs are hard to really prove and nail down. You need to know the history of the area, the energy levels like flowing water, what makes up the rocks in the area, is there quartz, yada yada yada, and all these kind of variables. Then you might be able to figure out the orb's meaning or the reason for them being caught on your particular camera. Is it simply a scientific phenomena or is it paranormal? So I hope I got you thinking about orbs and the things you see around you. But until the next time, this has been your living host from Long Beach Island. Keep your mind half in fact, reason, and science, and of course, the other half in the possibility of the things that might not just be of the norm. Now, I hope you like the new format. Thanks for listening, as always. And if you have any suggestions, I'm always looking forward to it. Now that we're back on track, and now that we're producing more episodes.